Some of the movies have copied so much of our work as Africans, and when you see it in a movie, you're like, wow. Okay, but it is just in a movie. You're not living it today. You do not understand the meaning of it. You're not allowing it to enrich you as a person. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to the village. Happy New Year. Oh my God, we made it. Yay! Did you guys go to the village? How was it? What did you guys do? Over Christmas, over New Year, what was the experience? Did you guys learn something new? If you're a new subscriber, what we do here, we just sit as African people as though we're in the village and we talk about matters that affect us. I am a huge advocate and a big supporter of African indigenous culture, our heritage, our culture, and how we're living it today. Now, as I say that, let me introduce the topic for today, which is basically celebrating African body art. And this topic has been inspired by this video that I saw just yesterday of an indigenous New Zealand woman who has become the first anchor, publicly to anchor the news, in her tribal marks. Let me just play this, guys.
A New Zealand woman made history on Christmas Day, becoming the first person with a Maori face tattoo to anchor a primetime newscast. In 2019, she chose to get a moko kawai, a traditional face tattoo for Maori women. The tattoos are very personal and represent a person's identity, heritage, and social status. Kaipara has said that she is committed to restoring Maori traditions and preserving the language.
Now, this is beyond incredible, and this, a huge shout out to this amazing New Zealand woman who has actually become the first person to anchor a mainstream television news with tribal marks, because this is a tribal mark, and I love the way they're explaining it, because tribal marks are very personal. Tribal marks, they carry someone's culture, someone's lineage, someone's heritage, someone's identity, and it is important to have that in this day and age, to remind yourself of where you're from and your people, and for you to be able to publicly share this with others. I think it's a privilege that has been lost for many years. As you can see, New Zealand, just similar to Africa, they were victims of colonialism, and I know in today's world we do talk a lot about cultural imperialism. Culture can be imposed in a variety of ways, such as through creating new laws and policies concerning what specific types of education, religion, art, and language are to be used. For example, when the native North American tribes were forced onto reservations, the United States government dictated that children attend Christian-based boarding schools. They were taught to read and write English, and the use of their native language was discouraged and forbidden. Can you imagine? So this is still a tool for neocolonialism, guys. The fact that you're suppressed to not fully express who you are as a person, that is a tool that is being used to colonize you in modern day world, where we call neocolonialism, whose culture is regarded higher compared to another, and granted, 2021 was a huge year for us as Africans, especially because I would say African music just took off to the Western world, and it took everyone by storm. Everyone is buzzing. Okay, that's a great start. Now, can we move a little bit closer to the goal? Make steps, continue to make strides. Is there room for us to go to our quote unquote formal work settings and be able to celebrate who we are as a people and be able to celebrate diversity? I'm really keen and curious, would corporates, even as they say, oh, we are really geared towards embracing diversity and inclusivity, is there room for me as a Duruma woman, to go and get my tribal marks on the face? And would you guys be willing to give me an actual formal job to work with you guys? Because as we talk about inclusivity, these are some of the things that are very deep, and they run very deep. It's about our culture, our identity. Africa as a continent is one of the most diverse continents in the world. How many languages do we have? How many tribes do we have? Close to over 3,000 tribes, close to over 1,500 languages. And it is important that we get an opportunity to carry this out, to be able to be truly ourselves and who we are as a people, even in the world where this has been suppressed for the longest time possible. In fact, the only areas where we now celebrate body work is in areas like photography. This is like incredible works of photography in the modern day art. If you go to a gallery, you admire this, right? Yeah. And the inspiration came from us as Africans and our history, our people, where we are and how we live. As you can see, these are just masks. And these masks, now we call them artifacts. But many of us as African people still very much live this culture in today's era. In fact, a lot of the young people are starting to go back to their indigenous roots to be able to connect with their communities and truly try to understand how is it that we lost a lot of treasures like this. How is it that we as a generation right now, the younger generation, we're not able to reproduce such incredible works of art? If you go to the Western museums where these are now, a lot of these treasures are, because a lot of them were stolen during the colonial times, these treasures are valued very highly. Yeah. So obviously, it seems like it has value when it gets to a museum, but when it comes to me expressing myself and who I am as a person, it is questionable as to whether it is valued. Can we try and change that? In fact, as I speak about change, look at this beauty. Can you just look at this? I know. Some of the tribal marks went too far, yeah, but isn't this beautiful? If you look at these women, in fact, the top picture here, on the left, this is Adetunde, a Nigerian model who, there was so much buzz around the world when she became one of the top models with tribal marks, and you can see she is like no other. The incredible beauty, the incredible uniqueness. But why do we accept this in fashion and we cannot accept this in our work area? What will my tribal marks do if I come to you in an office and I am trying to work and I am talking to you? How is it harming you? This is incredible beauty. Many of us have now many of us in the medical field, the ones who have become cosmetic surgeons, is it cosmetic surgeons? What do you call it? Because I'm going to call it cosmetic surgeons or cosmetic surgery. This is an opportunity for us. As I keep saying, formal education is good, but if formal education is continuing to alienate you from your people and who you are as a person, it is not doing you any good. But this is an opportunity for us, even for people in the medical field, especially cosmetic surgery surgeons. What if you became the first cosmetic surgeon who has been able to create tribal marks, and you've been able to enrich Africans, fellow Africans and other people with such rich culture? What if you became the first legislator and the first activist to be able to lobby for people in the workplace to accept this kind of beauty and to celebrate who we are? Because this accepting who we are, it seems like we've been brainwashed to say, oh, this is going to now continue to raise tribalism and whatnot. Tribalism, this is something that we will start to talk about, but tribalism is, for me, there's a huge portion of it is as a result of institutionalized discrimination. Just the same way, like, for instance, if you go to America, they're talking about institutionalized racism that, they're trying to tackle. These are things that we will talk about, But I think this creates an opportunity for us to truly celebrate who we are as a people, to embrace one another, to embrace indigenous knowledge and beauty and these treasures that we have all lost, And so, I hope that the Maori woman will not be the last. I hope that we will be able to do something great for ourselves. Just look at this. Tell me this is not beauty. Tell me this is not beautiful. Tell me this is not beautiful. We can modify it for the modern day world. We can. In fact, you guys, if you look at some of your movies, right? Some of the movies have copied so much of our work as Africans, And when you see it in a movie, you're like, wow. Okay, but it is just in a movie. You're not living it today. You do not understand the meaning of it. You're not allowing it to enrich you as a person. Yeah. Today, people are tattoo artists. People are making huge monies out of this. People have become serious tattoo artists. If you go to the first world countries, tattoos are celebrated. It's a form of art. Body art is something that we need to celebrate today. If you there's face painting for the kids. If you're a new mom, you can paint your belly, take nice pictures. If you're supporting a football match, you can paint yourself. This was a wedding where a woman is wearing henna. We are doing this today, but then why is it that we are cut off from celebrating publicly, body art, African body art? Because it helps to bring that connection. And self-identity is really important in terms of, how it builds character, how it helps you to relate to the world, how you see yourself in other people's eyes. It is really important. Can we normalize it, I think the reason why we're still in this era, that we're still struggling here and there to embrace who we really are as Africans, I still go back to this thing of cultural imperialism. And cultural imperialism here is, according to iresearchnet.com, is defined as, they say, cultural imperialism is the process and practice of promoting one's culture over another. Often this occurs during colonization, where one nation overpowers another country, typically one that is economically disadvantaged and or military weaker. The dominant country then forces its cultural beliefs and practices onto the conquered nation. This has happened since nations have been warring, beginning with the Greek and Roman empires to the French and British empires, the American Revolution, and the rise of communist governments in China and the Soviet Union, to present-day changes in the governments around the world. Culture can be imposed in a variety of ways, such as through creating new laws and policies concerning what specific types of education, religion, art, and language are to be used. For example, when the native North American tribes were forced onto reservations, the United States government dictated that children attend Christian-based boarding schools. They were taught to read and write English, and the use of their native language was discouraged and forbidden. Can you imagine? So this is still a tool for neocolonialism, guys. The fact that you're suppressed to not fully express who you are as a person, that is a tool that is being used to colonize you in modern day world, where we call neocolonialism. That we can go to African schools and still learn English and not learn indigenous language, right? We have to talk about these things. If we as Africans want to move forward, we need to do this. We need to do this. If we as Africans and the Western world, we want to build an equitable way of life. especially when we are working in companies, we are talking about building an equitable environment. These are things then we have to be able to table and talk about. Guys, you let me know, am I overreacting? Or what do you think about this matter? We have to celebrate, not just in music, but so many ways. There's so many ways where we can boldly express who we are as a people. We should be able to normalize me being me, a Duruma woman, in the modern day world, and celebrate, honoring my grandmother, honoring my grandpa, and all my Duruma folks with my Duruma tribal marks. But today I am in fear. If I ever go and get my tribal marks on the face, maybe I might not get a job. Maybe when I come knocking to your office door, you will not accept me. And why not? Why wouldn't you? That is the thing that we need to talk about. Anyway, guys, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I hope you have a good year and everything goes well with what you have planned and you stay blessed. Peace.